Hello everyone. So in this video we'll be continuing our discussion on inheritance and first we'll be discussing about the different types of inheritance. Right. So in the diagram you can see the different types of inheritance. There is single inheritance in which one base class and one derived class are present and the derived class inherits the base class. There is multi-level inheritance in which there is a base class, there is a class which inherits the base class, and then there is C which inherits the subclass of A. So then we have multiple inheritance in which C has two base classes, which is A and B. That is, it inherits the properties of both A and B. And then there is hierarchical inheritance, in which is just an example of a single inheritance into multiple ways, in which B is also inheriting from A, C is also inheriting from A, D is also inheriting from A. And then we have something called hybrid inheritance, in which we have initially a hierarchical structure in which B and C are both inheriting from A. And then we have D, which is inheriting using multiple inheritance from B and C. So in this video, we'll discuss about single inheritance, which we have already discussed in the last video, but we'll go through it again. Multi-level inheritance, multiple inheritance, and hierarchical inheritance. Hybrid inheritance will be discussed at length in a future lecture. So let's go back to the code. Right. So first, there is single inheritance. So public A. So what you or what rather we will discuss in this lecture is how the constructors are actually called, because the base functionality of inheritance remains the same, in which you are able to get the properties of different implemented classes of our base classes already. And how that happens is through the mixture of what the access specifier is for the given data member or member function in my base class, and also the mode in which we are inheriting the base class. So in this example first, we have a class B which is inheriting a class A. So this is an example of single inheritance. Now let's see the order in which the constructors are called when I create an object of class B, which is a derived class. So B. Oh, okay. So I forgot the semicolon at the end of each class. Right. So we get A and B, which is the constructor of the base class is called first, following the constructor of the derived class. Next, we will look into multi-level inheritance, which is in which three classes are involved, one after the other. So we have B, which inherits from A. Now what we'll do is we'll make C inherit from B, public B. Now let's try to create an object of this class and see the order in which the uh, constructors are being called. So I have C, C, A, B, and C. So we see that the foremost base class is first called, then the class which derives it, then the class which derives it. And this will go on for how many ever classes. For example, if D was inheriting C, then the order we would get is A, B, C, and then D. Right. Next, let's look into hierarchical inheritance. So hierarchical inheritance again is nothing but an example of how we can it's nothing but single inheritance done multiple times. So public A. So in this case, all my three classes B, C, and D are inheriting from A. Since they are all examples of single inheritance, we know what to expect from in terms of how the constructors are being called. CC. So we see that for B, it will be A and B. For C, it will be A and C. and for D it will be A and D. Now let's discuss about multiple inheritance, in which one derived class will have multiple base classes. So let us make C inherit both A and B. So this is how you would do it. The mode of inheritance for A, comma, the mode of inheritance and B. So now let's see what is the way in which the constructors are being called when I create an object of class C. We see it's A, B, and C, meaning first the constructor of A is called, then the constructor of B is called, and then the constructor of C itself is called. Now, what will happen if I change the order of inheritance to first let us inherit B and then let's inherit A? We see that the order changes B, A, and C. So, from this, we know that depending on the order in which you are inheriting the base classes, in the similar pattern will the constructors of each of those base classes be called. So, this has been about the different types of inheritance, which is single inheritance, multi-level inheritance, multiple inheritance, and hierarchical inheritance. Hybrid inheritance again will be discussed at length in a future lecture. And we also observe how the different I mean what the order in which the constructors of the superclass and the base or the subclass are sorry superclass and the subclass are being called. Thank you.